Are you there?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
yes,
so
that's right.
question, the night before you were due to meet up, did you have a heated discussion on the telephone with Miss Heard about what was happening with James Franco, the scene she was doing with James Franco? Answer, I do not recall, but it is highly likely. Did I read that right?
You did.
And you suspected that Amber was having an affair with James Franco, correct? That was the reason for your argument.
Yeah, yes.
And when you got on the plane, you considered that she was also being judgmental toward you because she believed that you were inebriated and under the influence of drugs, correct?
That was a constant.
And I'm talking about this particular plane flight.
Well,
You consider that she was being judgmental toward you because she believed you were inebriated and under the influence of drugs when you got on this plane, correct?
Yes,
And at some point on the flight, you ended up sleeping on the bathroom floor, right?
I did.
You testified to that yesterday, correct?
I did, yes, sir.
And when you landed, you were quite ill when you landed in Los Angeles, correct?
I don't recall being quite ill. It's possible. I don't know what you're referring to.
Let's
Maybe
take
you
a
could
look
take me
at
there.
yeah, sure. Let's take a look at page 313. Does that refresh your recollection that you were quite ill when you landed in Los Angeles?
Yes, but it doesn't refer to me being ill on the plane.
Sure. Okay. We'll get to the plane ride in a few minutes.
Oh, I thought we just did.
Let's turn to Exhibit 236, please. These are text messages that you sent to Amber on May 25th, 2014, the day after that plane flight, correct?
Okay. Yes, okay, yes.
And in this email to Amber, the day after this plane flight, you write her and you say, once again, I find my place, sorry, start over. Once again, I find myself in a place of shame and regret. Of course, I am sorry. I really don't know why or what happened, but I will never do it again. I want to get better for you and for me. I must. My illness somehow crept up and grabbed me. I can't do it again. I can't live like that again. And I know you can't either. I must get better, and I will. For us both, starting today, I love you. Again, I'm so sorry, so sorry. I love you and feel so bad for letting you down. Yours. Did I read that right?
You did.
And let's pull up Exhibit 245 one more time, which has been admitted into evidence this morning, Your Honor. But your email that I just read to you to Ms. Heard, or your text, was from May 25th, 2014. 5 days later, you text your good friend Paul Bettany, and you tell him that you had drank all night before you picked up Amber to fly to LA. You tell him that you had had no food for days, powders, which is cocaine, right? Powders is cocaine, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Half a bottle of whiskey, 1,000 Red Bull and vodkas, pills, 2 bottles of Champers on plane, and then you write, what do you get? An angry, aggro engine in a blackout, screaming obscenities and insulting any who got near. I'm done. I am admittedly too fucked in the head to spray my rage at the one I love. I'm too old to be that guy, but pills are fine. Did I read that right?
You did.
The 2 bottles of champagne on the plane, that was about, when you wrote 2 bottles of champagne on the plane, that was about the plane ride from Boston to LA, correct?
Yes, it comes just after 1,000 cans of Red Bull.
And at least parts of that plane flight, you were in a blackout, right?
There's
There's no reason you'd tell Paul Bettany that you were in a blackout if it wasn't true, correct?
There are again, when I write something, when I write a text, especially if I'm in a particularly impassioned place. It's a canvas. It's a painting.
Right.
You
And
choose your
appreciate that.
colors.
That wasn't my question, sir. My question was very simple.
Okay.
Would you agree that at least on parts of that plane flight, you were in a blackout?
No, I wouldn't agree that I was in a blackout.
Okay,
I would
let's
say
look
there's
at
a
page
difference between
333
a
of your-
blackout and when you're on opiates.
Let's look at page 333 of your transcript. You were asked a question, but parts of that flight are blacked out. Answer, apparently, but yes, apparently that is what I am saying to Mr. Bettany. Question, yes. Is there any reason why you would say that to Mr. Bettany if it were not true? Answer, probably not. Did I read that right?
You did?
And you would agree that on that flight you were very drunk and that you had taken drugs either before or during the flight, correct?
I know that I knew that I was going to have a very ugly, I was going to end up with a very ugly situation with Amber, so
Mr.
I
Depp,
doubled up
with respect,
the,
trying to respect the court's time and the jury's time, that was not my question. My question was
I
simply,
understand. When you
would
take
agree,
5 minutes to look for a
you would
document,
agree that on that flight, you were very drunk and you had taken drugs either before or during or both. You would agree that you were very drunk on that flight, correct?
I do not agree that I was very drunk on that flight.
And you would agree that you had taken drugs either before or during that flight, correct?
I had taken a double dose of the roxycodone, which is different than a blackout.
But you don't agree that you were very drunk?
I don't recall drinking a whole. You don't need to drink a whole lot when you're on those things. You don't have time.
You just testified you weren't drunk on the flight, okay?
I don't recall being drunk. No.
All right, let's look at page 335 of your UK testimony.
Okay, Mr. Roddenberry.
You were asked a question. I want to make sure it is quite clear what you were saying about the Boston plane incident. You were very drunk. You had taken drugs either before or during or both. Do you agree with that? Answer, sure. For the purposes of getting through this, let's say yes. Everything you have said, I agree. Did I read that right?
You did. I was caving in from.
My question was simply, did I read that correctly,
yes,
Mr. Depp?
I understand.
And it's with the following 3 excerpts to be played. The first is the start of the audio through 1 minute. That's your voice making those moaning sounds sound like an animal in pain, right, Mr. Depp?
That's exactly what I said before. Yes, that is sounds like a pained animal, and
Let's
it
go to
is my voice.
250, please. Then let's go to play 9:30, please.
I'll stay with this fucking idiot in case he gets sick.
Mr. Depp, do you know who the male voice is who at around 9:41 says, "No, I'm going to stay with this idiot in case he gets sick"? Do you know whose voice that
Oh,
was?
I didn't hear those words,
Okay.
but
All right.
yes, that's Jerry Judge, if you wanted me to answer that.
That was Jerry Judge's voice. Okay. So you finish this flight. You send the text that we've seen to Amber. You send the text to Paul Bettany. And at some point after this, you decide that you want to go to detox. And you went to detox. You testified a little bit about it yesterday in August of 2014 in the Bahamas, correct?
The recording of the pain noises is not from that flight, sir.
Not my question. My question is, you went to detox in August